Welcome back to part 4 of our bobbin blooms. So far we have completed, we're doing a little recap here. We have completed our bloom tops and our left and right leaf sections. So now we are going to go to the next step of this, and that is joining the two leaf portions together. And to do this, we are going to take our eye strip, and I'm sorry, not I, F. I looked at the wrong thing there. So guys, how are y'all doing today? It is a beautiful day outside. Oh, it's so lovely. I've been in the garden and I actually got garden stuff on me already. But I've got good clean hands to work on my sewing here. And this is our F strip. It's going to be beautiful. We will take a left leaf. And I'm going to start on the left because it doesn't say exactly where you should start. But I'm going to start on a left unit and then add the right unit. I cleaned and oiled my machine and forgot to do my needle. So it's got a little fuzzies going on right there. But y'all, it is so beautiful outside today. But I will let you know, I am so excited to be back in my sewing room. I had grandbabies over the weekend, and thank goodness for my chiropractor, because I don't think I could have done it had I not gone and got everything straightened out. It would have been a rough weekend, and we had a amazing celebration. We had a birthday celebration. We do this in April or May of every year. We have a large crawfish boil for my sister's girls, her 4 girls, her 2 stepdaughters and her 2 daughters. They all have birthdays like I think April, May, and June. So we just kind of do it in the middle for all the girls. And 2 of them actually live out of town. And when I say out of town, I mean more than 30 minutes away. And so it was good to see them. So what we do, we just have a big crawfish boil and bring in, you know, all of the family. And unfortunately, my younger sister wasn't able to come, and my oldest daughter wasn't able to come. My son, he is still in Tennessee, and he works every day, by my understanding. He wasn't able to come. And my daughter-in-law, they had a graduation celebration for her younger sister yesterday also. So, she wasn't able to make it, but I had my little grandbaby girl. She's so precious. Oh, my goodness. She's such a little sweetheart. So happy. But I had a great weekend all the way around, even though I was still tending to that, I call it a spinal headache, because it derives from my neck. And it is what it is. You know, I've lived with it for a long time now. I say several. I've lived with it for a really long time. 20-something years to be exact. And I think when I started having it, these headaches, I can't remember. I think it was my oldest daughter was about 6 months old, and my oldest daughter is 27 now. But I started having these headaches back then, and they found that it was my spine. That I worked in customer service at a large mortgage banking company. And it's a worldwide mortgage banking company. And I work customer service, so I was at a computer all day long. So what had happened was my spine had straightened out instead of, it no longer had the curve in it it's supposed to have. And just from years of that, I only did that for 2 years, but my jobs have always been on a computer. So this says I make 8, so I have a total of 8 of each. So I've always had that problem with my neck, and now it has bone spurs on each side of my vertebrae. But it has been maintained for 27 years with chiropractic care. And I mean, I also have a lot of back problems from it too, but my back was also out over the weekend, and he fixed that right on up. That's just a matter of my right hip. It does not stay in place, and it gets pushed up, and it pushes my spine to where it causes me to have scoliosis. I've seen the x-rays, y'all. It is the weirdest looking thing. And when it does that, it presses into my shoulder blades. And it causes me to have pain in my back and my lower back. And I have trouble standing. If you watch my cooking videos, you will see where I shift a lot in it. And that is from that. That is a lower back pain. But it really has been very manageable from going to the chiropractor. And today I'm I'm not going to say 100% pain free. I'm still managing a little pain in the neck. But that's okay, because, you know, he told me, you know, continue to do, because I had done a neck roll with ice packs. And he told me when I was there Friday to continue with that and just add, you know, a little ibuprofen to get rid of the inflammation. And so that's what I'm doing. And, you know, things like this take a little while, but I honestly feel great today. Compared to what I felt Thursday, I feel wonderful. I'm not going to say I feel like I could go dancing, but, you know, I'd love to go dancing if I could. I love to dance. Not a good one, you know. But I love to dance. I've always loved to dance. Even when I was a kid. I mean, even when I was in high school, where I lived actually had I'm trying to think what it's called. It's the Legion Hall, and that has something to do with Daughters of the Confederacy or something like that. But we had what was called the Legion Hall, and they would all the time have dances there. They'd have the teen dance, and then they would have the adult dance. Now, my mother and my stepfather would go to those, and I was allowed to go as long as they were there. So that's where I went and learned how to line dance. And I was a lot younger and a lot skinnier and danced a lot. Let me press, and I'll be back to tell you the rest of the story. Now have that done. So now let's add that right leaf onto there. So I think I just pulled a Paul Harvey saying right there. Now the rest of the story, when I was in high school, I was allowed to go to the Legion dances, the adult Legion dances, with my mother and my stepfather. Now both my mom and my dad like to dance. I'm going to tell on my dad here. But he, now of course, you know, he's an oldies dancer. He likes the oldie music. And used to, when their classmates and all would get together for New Year's, they'd always dance around. They had a friend that would host their New Year's Eve party, to say. Now this is when I'm an adult, and my dad is I think my dad's at least 22 years older than me. So I think my dad was like 22 or 23, maybe 24 when I was born. But they have a classmate that, now most of their classmates are gone now. But they had a classmate that would always have a New Year's Eve. And I'd always hear the stories about it. So I don't feel so bad about dancing now. But anyway, with all the dancing, you know, my mother liked to dance. My daddy liked to dance. So I love to dance. But I have not danced in years because my husband doesn't. He's not a big music person. He doesn't really listen to music. I do. I listen to music all the time. In my car, going to work, I'm listening to music. I'm singing to it, but boy, I can't sing either. I'm not a good singer. But can't nobody hear me unless they in my vehicle, so as long as you're not riding with me, you're okay. But I just, I do like to dance. But anyway, back on the story. We just had a good old time yesterday with all the family. And had my grandbabies. Both of my grandbabies was at the birthday thing yesterday. We had a good day. And today I'm only going to be sewing for about maybe an hour, hour and a half, because I do know that I will have some editing to do for you guys. And it is afternoon, after lunchtime right now, actually, on Sunday. And I wanted to get, I did not have a video prepared for y'all since I had my grandbabies this weekend. So I'm just trying to get a little something out for you today. And know that, remember that I have my updates on Mondays. So I have a real big update for Monday. And you don't want to miss this. It's special, very special. But I think most of this week what I have been doing is mainly the bobbin blooms. It is a lot of pieces, but it's not being difficult at all. And I should have this finished today. I should be able to finish it this evening. And this is part 4 and hopefully the last part. I'm thinking I should be able to assemble the whole quilt together. Minus the border. I did not cut the border out, but I don't need that to finish this off for y'all. But I have, I think, two big things that's happened this week that I want to show you guys. I now have our leaf units done. Not all of them are perfect even, but that don't matter. That don't matter. Those are going to be so pretty. Our next step that we do, okay, so that we've made our 8 there. Oh, we're going to assemble our spool units. So our spool unit is our block A. And then we will put our eyes on each side of the A's. And let's do those first. There is a step after that, but that's not what we're going to worry about right now. I'm going to start on the right side. Just assembling this. Now they did give me a measurement for the leaf unit, and I will do all the trim up right before I piece it. But anyway, where I was, I had some exciting things this week that I was able to do, and I want to show y'all. And I made a decision on using some of that new fabric, that blue that I showed y'all, to go with my Tree of Life. I'm going to use some of it for another project as well, because that was 8 yards. So you know it's not going to take 8 yards to back that Tree of Life. So that's going to be interesting. I will show you what that is used for, or what it will be used for. It's exciting because I think it's going to look great, actually. But I'll have to look at it and let you know. I'll let you know. But I have some great projects coming up. I'm so excited to be doing them. I have a project box that I'm pulling off my stack back here, that it's been back here. It's a quilt that I've been wanting to do, and I'm going to get to it and do it, because I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be in like red, white, and blue. I think that's the fabric that's in it, is a red, white, and blue. It may not be red, white, and blue, but it may be. I can't recall. But I remember the pattern, and I saw the pattern again the other day, probably about 3 or 4 days ago, when I was looking at patterns to do for the sew along. And it seems like what we may end up doing is a stash buster. So if you have a stash of fabric that you need to downsize or, you know, use up, I'm going to try to find a pattern that will be good for big prints, small prints, no prints, solids. Whatever you want to do. And I saw another pattern in a book, which I need to show this book to you guys. I went to Stitched in Faith while I was waiting on my doctor's appointment last Wednesday, and I got a book. I don't know why I got the book. Well, yeah, I do know why I got the book. I saw a couple patterns in there, and I was like, oh, I want to do this, and I want to do this. So I got a pattern and a book. And the pattern is so pretty. It uses dark blues, and I will make it in dark blues, because I love this pattern. Every time I walked in there, I've always been like, I really want this pattern. but I've just never bought it. And this time I was like, I'm going to buy this pattern. And once I show it to y'all, if y'all want to do this pattern for the Stash Buster, no, we're not going to do this pattern for the Stash Buster. I'm going to find a free pattern online that everyone can download and print. And if you don't have the ability to download and print, let me know. I mean, let me know. Because if I need to, I'll mail one to you. I'll print it and mail one to you if I need to. I don't mind doing that at all. Because I want everyone that wants to be able to join the sew along to be able to join it. So if you have a stash to bust, go for it. If all you got is some sheets in your linen closet, say you got some sheets like I got. I actually have a bag of sheets that I'm going to be washing and, you know, sterilizing real good, washing. I'd actually washed them and got them ready to go to our animal shelter because they all the time needing sheets and pillowcases and things like that. But I've never gotten it to them. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and wash those up. And I'm going to make either backings out of that or a light quilt out of it. Because like I told you before, my mama has made quilts out of everything. I've seen her make it out of flour sacks, sheets, shirts, you know, because back in the day, if there was a shirt that just really had met its end, they would just take the buttons off of it because they reused them buttons for another shirt that they made, and they would cut it up and make bed covers out of them. Or, you know, they'd make children's clothes out of it. That is part of a repurpose to me. Now, when I go through my closet, I will say I do donate a lot of my clothes because, I don't know, just after a little bit, I just don't wear a lot of the same thing for a long time. Like this shirt I have on now, it's probably about 10 years old. But it's comfortable. But I'm all the time. I like to buy at least 1 or 2 shirts a season. And then I'll try to donate 1 or 2 every season. I need to finish going through my closet because years ago I worked at the university and my dress code was different than the job I'm at now. So I have a lot of slacks and, you know, dressier clothes. I'll keep a couple pairs of slacks, but I don't need. I literally have a closet of about 10 pair of slacks and half of them are black. I don't need that many slacks. And so I'll be donating. And I wore a lot of sleeveless shirts with little cardigans over them. I'm not doing that no more. I cannot layer clothes. I mean, I get too hot. And so I'm not going to layer clothes. But I'm trying to, I've been at the position I'm in now, I've been in for 5 years, I think. And love it. I would not want to go anywhere else. I love where I'm at. I love the atmosphere of community there. I love the work environment. I love the feel that I'm helping people out there. But word is they're about to have some changes. And I don't know. I hope it doesn't. I hope I'm not affected by it. I know in a roundabout way I will be affected by it, but I'm hoping my job status is not affected by it. That's always a nervous thing with the way things are going now in the world. Which I don't know how they are in the world because I don't watch the news. And I know that's kind of selfish of me to not want to know what's going on in the world. But I guess I do see enough. But being that my son is military, I don't want to know. Because I don't want to stress over it. And I mean, honestly, what you see on the TV, you don't know if it's truth or not. They're paid to say stuff. You know, they're only allowed to say what they're allowed to say. And so I don't know how much of what is out there is truth, so I just don't watch it. I just stay. I don't know what other words. I stay in my lane. I only worry about what I can and cannot control. If I cannot control it, it ain't getting worried about. And I can only control myself and my actions and reactions. That's it. So I don't worry about all the other stuff. It's no sense in worrying about stuff until it's time. Okay, so it looks like I have the spool unit done. Now that I have all of these completed, I think there's 8 of them, we are going to put a top and bottom border on them. This is our G fabric. And I will start at the top, and it looks like when we put these on, they will press up and down. So the others pressed out, and these will press up and down. I'm hoping they fit and match perfectly, because if they do, that means my seams were a perfect 1/4 inch, and it don't look like it. Oh no, that's okay. I'll make it where whenever there's a 1/4 inch on the other side, it'll still catch it. It won't hurt anything. So how did y'all's weekend go? I know I'm just sitting here telling you all my stories and stuff. How did your weekend go? Did you have a great weekend? It was supposed to rain most of the weekend here. I don't think it did though. This one is definite, and I can tell the difference on that seam right there. It didn't rain how I anticipated it to rain all weekend, which was nice. But my garden needs the water. And I don't like to have, I'd rather it have rain than me have to water it. Because it is a raised garden bed, so it does require more watering. I may try to get my husband to figure out a system to where we can set a sprinkler up on it. He had offered to do that when we first put the beds in, but I wasn't sure that's where I wanted the beds. But that looks like, other than in my front yard, I call it my front yard because it's right in front of my house. And I don't want to look at a garden that has nothing growing in it in the winter time out my front window. And I don't want to see a makeshift greenhouse over stuff through my front window. But it's too windy in my front yard to have it, to have a garden in it, because I couldn't put any kind of cover over it, over anything. Because in front of my house is an open field, and we get a lot of wind off that open field. So I wouldn't want that for sure. But where it is, there's a little bit of trees right in front of it to keep the wind off of it from that field. It is kind of in my front yard, but it's in the side, what I call the side yard, because it's on the other side of my driveway, and there's trees along the roadside of that side of my yard. In my front yard, there's no trees in the front. Well, I have some big oaks in the front, but they're like close to the house. But my side yard, it's got a line of trees that protects it, because on that side we have the dog area also, and they stay shaded with those big trees that's over there too. And that part of my yard is protected in the evening time from the really hot sun. I don't mind my garden getting that beautiful early morning sun, but that evening sun, y'all, it can kill some plants. It gets hot. And I'll tell you what, that's the only thing. I think last year we kind of had a drought, but my garden produced, I mainly had okra that was growing last year because my blackberry was new and hadn't established yet. My asparagus was still a second year root, so it wasn't third year yet. So I was able to get a little bit off of my asparagus last year, and mind you, it's not a very big bed. So, and my little fig tree out there, it still don't have anything on it this year either. But it's a patio fig, so it's not supposed to. I don't know if it bears fruit. I hope it does, because my fig tree that was in my yard, it died last year. That drought and heat just killed it. Because we had a large tree in our backyard fall last year in a storm, and it kind of shaded my fig tree a little bit from the heat, but after it fell, my fig tree just did not do good. But I don't have good soil either. So it could be the soil was not good. I don't know. It just died. Last year it actually had a few fruits on it, but this year it don't even have a leaf on it. So I know it's dead. And I went and checked my herbs today, and I know thyme you're supposed to start inside, but I didn't. I just direct sowed, and if it doesn't make, it doesn't make. And I didn't see any sign of life from that or my chives. But I think it's chives. I think my holy basil, though, I think I have 2 seeds that have germinated. I'm hoping it's just not been long enough to germinate, because it's definitely been hot enough for it to germinate. But I know, here I am talking about my garden, all my sewing stuff. But it's just part of what I do. I mean, this is part of life here. I'm not going to call it a homestead, because I don't have chickens. I have a wishful thinking homestead, because I don't have time to have stuff like that. I barely have time to sew. I get a couple hours. Some evenings I can get a couple hours. I try to most evenings to get at least an hour in. And it seems like on the weekends here lately I've had grandbabies, or grandbaby, my grandson. My granddaughter is too far away for me to have her at least a day a weekend, which I would love to do that. Friday was great. I had my grandson that morning, and his daddy gets off work close to noon, and he picked him up about 12:30, and then I got my little grandbaby girl. I got her close to 2:30. Because I mean, I'll just be honest, I can't do both of them at the same time. There's no way. I wish I could. But I'm not as young as I once was. And I mean, I know I had 2 babies, but I had a 3-year-old and a newborn. I didn't have babies. My 3-year-old, she liked to help. There's almost 3 years. My oldest and my middle one, there's almost 3 years. Well, yeah, there's 3 years. Because one turned 3 in November, and the other one was born in December. And so she was 3 when I had my second one. My oldest was 3. And then between my middle one and my son, there is like 2 years between them 2. So I never had 2 babies at the same time. So that kind of scares me. Not that I couldn't do it. If I had to, I would definitely do it, because, I mean, it's just a baby. They're not gonna send me into oblivion or anything. I mean, here my granddaughter, she's 8 months and trying to walk already. She'll stand up and she'll let go of things while she's standing up and stand up on her own, and she coasts. She holds on to furniture and stuff and walks around the furniture. And my grandson, he a little chunk. He's still he's only 4 months old, and he just learned his rollover. He can roll over both sides all the way and back. So he's 4 months doing that, and I think that's that's average. That's normal for them to do that at that age. And he's trying to learn to, he's been trying to sit up on his own for a long time, but he still don't have that core strength to hold him upright yet. He don't have that balance down yet. But he's working on it. Because he don't like laying down, and he'll look like he's doing a crunch. When you lay him down on his back, he's got his legs coming up and the top of his body coming up. I'm like, man, he's going to have an 8-pack. And he ain't going to have no 6-pack of abs. He going to have an 8-pack. When he can start walking or doing, he's going to have some muscles in his abdomen. Because I'm telling you, he don't lay down flat. Because he is definitely, he a strong little booger. He don't want to be flat. He wants to sit up and see everything that's going on. But they are both such a joy to keep. I just enjoyed it so much. I wish my grandbaby girl was so much closer. I know she's only an hour and a half away. Well, maybe a little, about an hour and 15 minutes away, actually. But sometimes that's hard to drive because I don't drive at night because of deer. Where I live, there's a lot of deer that will jump out in the road. And I just don't like that. I'd rather not have a meeting with the wildlife when I drive. But just trying to stay safe, you know. And there's no way I could go, like when I get off work, I can't do it during the week. I can't go see her during the week. Because it would put me coming home too late in the evening after dark. So I don't get to see her until the weekend. And some weekends I'm so extremely busy, I can't go see her. And the weekend is really the only time I have to work on my house, which hasn't happened in a couple weeks now. My floors are suffering. If you could only see my sewing room floor right now, it is awful. It is awful. I've got thread everywhere on the floor right now. But one day, it's probably going to be today. Because I did a servicing on my vacuum cleaner. I washed all the filters, got the brushes cleaned real good. About once every 6 months I'll do that. I'll take the brushes off my vacuum and clean it real good, and I'll take the filters out and clean them, because they're the kind that you can just wash, but you have to let them dry completely, because they're like it's almost like a HEPA filter, but they're a heavier filter. They filter allergens and out. It's a Dyson. And I think we were in this house like a year before we bought it. So that vacuum cleaner we bought this house in 2000, or I bought this house in 2006, because it was before my husband and I married. I bought this house in 2006, and yeah, it's 18 years. That vacuum cleaner, well, it's 17 years, because I bought it like a year after I moved in this house. Or my husband and I bought it a year after we moved, or I moved in this house. He didn't move in this house. But we were seeing one another at that time when I bought this house. Okay, I'm going to press this, and then we are going to start assembling our flower bobbin. So I now have our bobbins completed. So now we are going to use, it says assemble using a coordinating fabric, which I'm using the white as the background. But it looks like all we have to do is assemble our blocks. So I am going to start with the bloom and the leaf section first. And guys, we've been sewing. I've been at this already an hour and a half, and it looks like there may be a part 5. I'm okay if there is, but I don't know if y'all are okay if it is. Block 5, part 5, though, would be finishing the complete assembly. So that may be part 5. That may be our finishing. Because I do press and trim, and that's all part of this, is I press and I do my trimming per the instructions, because I want my blocks to be, I'm not going to say perfect, but I want them to be as close to exact as possible. Because just a little bit of difference in that size does make a difference. Making sure I'm turning it the correct way, because I want my blooms going the correct way. It says we're making 8 of them, and we're doing them all exactly the same. So this would be correct. Now, out of this hour, we're at an hour and 30 minutes definitely right now. Out of this hour and a half, there's probably only going to be about 20 minutes of sewing, maybe. Because, like I was saying, I do press and I do trim to try to make sure my blocks are the right size. So when I go and put them together, they'll match up real nicely. I don't know that I trimmed this one. I might not have, but I don't know. I don't remember if I did or not. I might have, I might not have. But you know what, to me, it's okay if we go to a part 5 because that'll give me time to go on and cut the borders out for it. I was thinking I may wanted to do a little larger border, but I don't know. I think the borders are different in this. Let me look and see what the borders are going to be like, because I am doing the one with the borders, because I think you could do it. No, that's a different one I was looking at. We've got background sashing and border. Okay, so I'm cutting them to the width, which is our length, which is, no, it looks like width. No, that has to be length. 46.5 inches. So we will just get as much done as we possibly can right now. Okay, I've got to see, why was that other one? I got to make sure I put these together right. But I did just sew that one leaf side up, so that could have made the difference. But let me make sure my leaves are going up. Are my leaves going up? Yeah, my leaves are going up. So that may be the way to sew them. So, yep, my leaves are going up. Okay. Just making sure of that, because I sure enough didn't want to get all the way done and my leaves be going the wrong direction. Y'all, these are so pretty though. So pretty. I love this. Trying to think if I've ever done any of the projects in the sew sampler. The only thing I've done was in the Boo box. Did I get a Christmas one? I don't remember what all I've got. Yeah, a Jolly box. I did get a Jolly box. What was in there? I don't remember. But I don't think I've ever done one of the quilts in the Sew Sampler subscription box. So this would be the first for me, I think. I may have done something else. I don't remember. I thought I did do, I know I did the Boo one. Because it's back here. I still need to finish it. I haven't finished it either. And I'm going to quilt that one on my machine. But thought I did a Christmas one. I know I did a wall hanging. From a different one. And a table topper. But I don't think. I will have to look back and see what I did. I don't even remember what we got in the Jolly box. I think I got the Jolly box. Pretty certain I did. I did keep all the I used to keep all the boxes, but then they were stacking up and I was like, nope, that's got to get out of my way. So I think what I ended up doing was taking the projects out and putting them in project bags over on my shelf, which means, I mean, if it's in a project bag, it's going to be pulled and worked. And if it's not pulled and worked, it will be put in a giveaway, which reminds me, we do have a 2,000 subscriber giveaway that I will be doing. So, and actually, while I'm talking about it, let this be the video that the giveaway is done from. If you are watching this, you are in the United States. I'm sorry, but I cannot ship outside of the United States. Currently, not in my budget. But I do appreciate each and every one of you that have subscribed to me, and do continue to watch and follow along and see what I make next. You know, mistakes and all. Let's see, I'll give you a word so I can do a random comment picker. Not a random, a name picker. A name picker from a comment. And the comment's not going to be too random. It's going to be something. Just say quarter. Q-U-A-R-T-E-R, like in Fat Quarter Shop. Because we are doing their bobbin blooms. But put the whole word quarter, Q-U-A-R-T-E-R, in your comment, and I will do a drawing for it'll be my 2K giveaway. You do need to be a subscriber. I need to be able to tell that you're a subscriber. And if I can't tell you're a subscriber, some people I know, they're subscribed simply because they always watch the video within 24 hours, and most of them comment within 24 hours. So to me, that's somebody that's already subscribed. Even if they're not a public subscriber, and I can tell some of those that aren't publicly subscribed but are subscribers. But go ahead and leave your comment in the comment section down, and all of my rules for my giveaway is in my description, as always. In my description, I do always include links to products that I use in making my projects. So if you're ever interested in anything I ever use, and I also put things that I use kind of behind the scene. Like right now, I'm having to pull my thing up. I will also link my mic that I use, because I'm going to tell you, a mic is a big thing when it comes to your videos, and I realize that kind of I'm not going to say haphazardly. I learned that by experience there, because yeah, let's just say that. So now that I've got the top put on, the top and middle section is always going to be so it doesn't really show. I'm looking to see if maybe I need to do a certain pattern with a certain bottom. Yeah, because it does show. Okay. I'm going to try to follow the pattern as closely as possible. So, this one that I already have open, it's the little flowers on the top. And that one, the bobbin that it uses is the little pink flowers on the bottom, which is this one. Yeah, I'm sorry, my nose is itching. Keep scratching my nose here, it's itching. I may carry us on into 2 hours, but at 2 hours, I definitely have to stop because it will take that time for me to edit and get this guy uploaded because I don't live in the best area for internet service. Even though we use the, what's that called? The Starlink or whatever. We have that, but the area that we're in, I mean, we get it, but it's not a really strong signal. But it's better than what our other options are. It's worlds better than what we had before. So I'm going to go on and try to get these put together. Let's see what my next piece is. My next piece is the pretty yellow. I love that, y'all. I love that yellow and that green. That is so pretty. I love that. Oh, and it's the very next one right there. It's the stripe. I really love, you know, coming into the spring and summer, I love these yellows. And I got to make sure I'm lined up here. Even though that band is not lined up, I don't care. Because for some reason, I know I measured them things out right and cut them right, but for some reason, maybe I didn't pull them. I didn't stretch them. But I'm not going to now. I might have been off on my measurement, maybe 1/4 of an inch on them. I had to have been. But that's where you catch it in 1/4 of an inch seam and just try to make it work. Okay, so I got that flower again, and that flower's got that pretty peachy pink flowers. That there. This would be a cute little throw. It's the finished size of this is 42 and a half by 46 and a half. So that's a nice little throw. And I will tell y'all, keeping my grandbabies this weekend, I didn't keep them all at the same time. I kept them different times. Having my grandbabies at some point in time over the weekend, I kept a quilt on the floor for them to play on. Because I have cats. Y'all know I have cats. So I don't know. I'm just kind of phobic about that. Now, I did not let the cats on the quilt. Because I don't want to, I don't want that on the, nope, not on my quilt that my babies are playing on. But them babies just played on that quilt. They sit there and they love the colors on that quilt. And this will be another one that I may carry this and have it. Instead of me quilting it, I may go on and carry it and have it quilted and have a tight quilt put on it. You know, have a real dense quilt. So it's a little stiffer. It's more like a play quilt for them. But I don't know. I love this. This is so pretty. So, so pretty. And that one there has those ups and downs. It's got the stripes. It looks like you're really only using... No, you're not. You're using all of them separately on each row. Okay. I was making sure. See, now this is going to be the striped top. So let's see what goes with the striped top. Now see, my stripes on the top go side to side. And they should go up and down. Oh well. It's not going to be exactly like the thing, but I like the side to side. I think that's pretty. I was trying to do it exactly like in the layout when you cut the fabric. But I don't guess it really matters which direction it goes. It's going to be beautiful anyway. I love, because I love these colors. They're so, I like pastel-y, soft colors. And then on the other hand, I like the blush colors, and I think they're so pretty. So the last two we have are the pretty peachy flowers, and then we're going to put this on the bottom, and I will call this a video after I get these put together. But I am going to go ahead and press them so you can see what they look like done, and then our next video we will be completing the borders, which the border does involve doing the little, it requires us to use these little bitty pieces right here, and that'll be putting the borders on. So this one here, we're completing the bobbin bloom unit, and then the next one will be completing the border unit and putting the whole thing together. So there will be part 5. I'm so sorry, y'all, that it's so many parts. But I've got too much I need to do today to get ready for work next week. I've got to get my meal prep done. I've got to get better about that. Because if you watch my my cooking videos, I only did meal prep of one thing last week, and that was going in 3 days. So I may just go in and press and trim one out so you can see what it looks like. So then we can cut this, and I can get this out for y'all today. Hopefully by 5. I don't even know what time it is right now. I'm not even looking at the time, because this is so beautiful, and time goes by so fast when I'm sewing, because I just love doing it so much. Okay, y'all, this is one of the bobbin blooms. Is that not beautiful? I'm so excited to get the rest of these done. Now, on the pressing, the bottom part you press down to the bottom, and where you have the bloom and the leaf part come together, you open that and press. So Guys, I hope you like this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. If you've not yet subscribed, please do. Feel free to leave a comment. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.